the situation where Pakistan were, there was no way South Africa were not getting the runs if the full quota of overs were completed. You had to attack.
To get
Did Babar Azam attack enough? Even in that Wasim over, which was his last, that was the last throw of the dice, where there was no slip. There were two players on the boundary for the hook or the pull.
A couple of times he could have had a slip in. There was a slip in and out, you know, on occasions, but they had to get. It's a very delicate situation. You've got to get the wicket, and you also got to keep the run down.
But don't you attack at that stage? You have to go for the wicket. There's nothing else matters. You know, I mean, let's say you've played cricket, right? I haven't, but even I, with my limited knowledge, playing club cricket, know that if it's one wicket there, you have to attack because the chances of 30 balls remaining, or in the end, what, 18, 19, you got to knock. You got to get one bad ball somewhere.
In good faith, you expect 6 balls to come in the right spot to justify your slip, maybe a gully. But you don't always get that. So you've got to protect the runs as well as get the wicket. So it's a very difficult, it's not as easy as you think. But yes, they could have attacked a little bit more and showed the intent to get that wicket to ensure victory. But, you know, it's easy to be critical, but there could have been a little bit more attacking, yes.
Anas, should Babar Azam have been more attacking, especially with South Africa 9 down?
Well, I mean, yes. The short answer is yes, he should have been more attacking. You know, the problem as a layman or as not a professional cricketer per se, but what it looks like being miles away is that Babar takes the pressure head on quite easily. If there's a neck down, or if there's a you know, outside edge and beyond the slip, he would just take the slip out. And he would keep on rotating it, and we saw that happening in this match. We saw that happening in the match with Sri Lanka. We saw that happening in the entire tournament. So there needs to be a game plan or a field plan that is in place. We spoke about it earlier today as well. Again, there were at least 2 visible captains on the field. We saw Shaheen Afridi setting the field. We saw Mohammad Rizwan from the stumps. Fair enough, that's the job of the keeper to fine-tune the players, at the fielders. But then we saw Babar Azam as well. So there needs to be that approach that there's one person who everybody would be paying a heed to, and you probably would have seen that as well, that, you know, ball by ball, Shaheen Afridi would be going to Mohammad Wasim or would be going to Haris Rauf and trying to guide them through. That's not his job. That's the job of the captain, to put his faith in his bowlers to buck him up. Where was Babar at that point of time? Somewhere in deep covers. I mean, he was not even visible. So, I mean, the lack of intent from the side of the captain at least, and the lack of attacking strategy, I think that is one of the bigger reasons as well that Pakistan lost today.
Okay, strong words he's using.
Well, yeah, but look, some words of encouragement from the captain would have been useful, yes, for sure. He's not a bowler, though. I mean, Afridi is a bowler, and he might give some really good advice as also to the person operating. So, again, look, Babar Azam could have shown a little bit more leadership, I guess. But all in all, I mean, you know, one wicket.
Okay, let's talk about that wicket. I felt that was out the moment I saw it on my TV screen. Yeah. That was clearly out, and you believe that the ICC needs to relook this ridiculous rule. If it's hitting the stumps, it's out.
It's out, yeah. And it was more out than Rassie van der Dusen's. That, to me, I thought was, gee, you're lucky to get that, you know. And it was just clipping with the ever so slight margin, and he had to walk out. This guy, look, it just looked out. I don't know why. He probably also, you know, pressure got to him as well, I think, the umpire, and gave it not out. But on the balance of probabilities, that one should have been out, but Rassie van der Dusen didn't look out. So, you know, hitting's hitting, right?
Look, but we saw the reaction of the Pakistan team. They were deflated.
Yeah.
Haris was on the floor.
Yeah.
And he didn't have a great first half, right? He went for runs again. I think 5 overs for 30. But when his captain asked him to come back, when they came back in the 30th, 31st over, they bowled with a lot of heart. And they didn't deserve that perhaps at the end. But how does the ICC sort of address this? Is it going to down to the technical committee, the MCC's cricket rules, whatever? Because you're trying to trust technology. Ultimately, what happens in football, right, with VAR? It's either offside or it's a goal.
Yeah, I think the technology, they're saying it just gives that little leeway of incorrectness or whatever, for want of a better word. So the umpire's call is to cover that area. But if all teams agree to it and they sign up to it, then just go with it, you know, forget this umpire's call. If it's hitting, it's hitting.